All right, guys, welcome back into another NBA prop studio. Give me touching on the top prop bets on both PrizePicks and Underdog today. But first, we got to start out with some new things that PrizePicks is seemingly trying out. We're just going to cover that at the top. So right now there's this thing called Demons and Goblins on PrizePicks, and I love how they phrase it. Now win up to 100x your cash without really telling you how to do so. And so if you guys go to the NFL board, you will see this. Okay, they'll have a little demon next to it or a little goblin next to it, and I'll just use Easton Stick as an example. That's a bad example, actually. Maybe Palmer. Sure, Joshua Palmer here. So the average line for him is going to be set at 35.5. This is the true line. Okay, whereas you can get a discounted line at 24.5, or you could potentially bet the line at 49.5 and you're going to have a better payout. So pretty much if the line is tougher to get, you're going to have a better payout. If the line is easier to get, you're going to have a worse payout. And so I personally probably won't be using these too much. There are occasions in which the day will start and I'll be like, man, I really like this bet, but we have no other bets to use it with. Then I could use a discounted square to use that. Just trying to lock in a prop bet before it gets bumped pretty much. That happens a lot of the times during videos and we just don't have another prop bet that you feel really good about. That could work. Now, I will say a lot of the times when you guys are probably watching these NBA videos, you hear me mention, oh, that's a better bet on the sports book. I say that all the time. And that's because the data is not agreeing kind of with my thoughts. And if I see like a projected edge, it doesn't really make sense to bet that on PrizePicks. Well, now this is kind of the way in which maybe it does make sense. Now that happens more in NBA where I'm like, man, I really want to bet this, let's say whatever bet. And let's just use NBA as an example here. I don't know. I'll just use Chet Holmgren as an example or something. Like, let's say I really like Chet Holmgren for over rebounds and assists because the under's being favored by the average sports book, and because the projection data doesn't like it too much, that is not a worthwhile bet on PrizePicks or Underdog. Well, now, and I know this is only for NFL right now, but now if there was a bet there where you were getting a demon or whatever, that'd be the time I'd be fine applying it. All in all, I'm probably not going to use these too much. Now, I will say, I mentioned I thought Easton Stick could have a good game. Obviously, the matchup with the Raiders is not the best, but I do think that there's a realm of possibility where he does have a good passing day, and like this yardage is probably too low. And I will say, with Keenan Allen being out, like I could see Austin Eckler finally having a really good day in the receiving department. Maybe I like that over for the Demon. And it's just going to be a lot less likely to happen, guys. That's part of the reason as to why they're doing this. They're really just trying to make you make bad bets is really the summary of it. But Palmer as well, like I mentioned on the NFL video, like the thing with Joshua Palmer is we have no idea how many snaps he's going to get. But with Keenan Allen ruled out, I think he'd be a candidate to get more snaps. And so like that'd be something where 49.5, if he is the top receiver tonight, I think he does get that over. And so it's just weird. I don't know why they felt the need to introduce this. I don't think it's needed. But also, second thing here, guys, we do have a free square, and they're also going to be giving us some free or discounted payouts and whatnot. Rudy Gobert blocks is going to be the first one. And so here's what it is. Like day one, if Rudy Gobert gets one block, you unlock a payout boost on promos tab. I don't know if that's something we have to bet on or if that's just going to be something that appears. I don't know. It kind of these moves kind of seem like flops to me right now. We'll see. But we do have a Kevin Durant free square, which is nice. Right now, guys, I'm not really seeing any prop bets, though, that I would want to go out of my way to pair with the Kevin Durant free square. What we want to do with these is really wait. I mean, we have so much time on this. Really wait until there's a huge discrepancy in terms of prop bets that we would want to be going in on. Now, these three right off the top, Jokic for over rebounds and assists, we could do. And same thing with Tatum for under 3.5 turnovers. Like that is a pretty high likelihood to hit, and we could do that. And I actually don't mind doing that. And I suppose another thing you could do is do the max entry with the discounted squares and literally just, hey, they're trying to give us free money. Let's take the double up. I guess I'd be okay with that. At the same time, I don't know. I don't exactly love that idea either. Going back to the data sheet here, like you could do Aiden O'Connell. That has a 64% chance per passing TDs, has a 64% chance to hit. That is a goblin. Michael Pittman Jr. for over his receiving yards. That is a goblin. Austin Eckler for over receiving yards, that is a goblin as well. So I mean, we do have some opportunities there, like Aiden O'Connell over pass touchdowns tonight, 64% chance to hit, and actually that payout would be a little bit better, which is surprising. I mean, that's seemingly a good bet. But yeah, I'm still working on kind of the process, the mathematical approach to that, and honestly, I don't know if I'll have time to do that. I'm going away for the holidays on Friday. Won't be back until Sunday, so we'll see. But let's go on and get into NBA. So today we have 7 games on the slate today. I won't be able to do the game-by-game breakdown today, but I will take a quick peek at the injury report right now. And so just looking at kind of the injuries that we have right now, we are going to see Evan Mobley currently listed as out. That's going to mean that Jared Allen is going to be in for a decent spot, I say. He went off in the last game, and actually we saw Polzin and Allen both have pretty good games. That is something that could continue again. I was a little bit shocked by how well he played. You got Miami coming in off the back end of a back-to-back. I think the assumption is that all 3 of these players are going to sit again. But if Josh Richardson also sits, that's going to open up a lot of usage. Probably going to Duncan Robinson, maybe going to Kyle Lowry a little bit. He was someone for over points we were looking at yesterday. That one was one that hit. For Chicago, Zach LaVine still out. My question is, can Kobe White continue this awesome run that he has been on? I mean, he has been a stud. He's basically been their best player, is their best player right now with Zach LaVine off the court, which definitely strange to say. Patrick Williams, we'll see. Continuing on for the Timberwolves, if Ant-Man is out, I think we can bank on one of or both of Towns and Gobert to have good games. That's a big mover. If Ant-Man's in, that really just kind of makes that game maybe a stay away. Looking at Dallas, and guys, typically speaking, we want to target bigs against Dallas. Looking at Dallas right now, they are still banged up. Dante Exum has been a stud. With Kyrie Irving off the court. They've kind of found him a little bit here. And so he's someone I think we could trust. I don't think we want to look at Derek Lively or Grant Williams today simply because of that matchup with the 2 bigs. That'd be a concern to me. Looking at Brooklyn, they're going to be healthy. Looking at Denver, seemingly healthy as well. Julian Strawther currently projected in the starting lineup is definitely something that's interesting. He's a player that I like. Would be interesting to see if he continues to get minutes. For Utah, guys, Fontecchio could be a good option tonight, depending on the props that we're getting. And that's simply due to the plethora of players that are listed as out. John Collins, game time decision. Luka's out, the other one. Lauri Markkanen, game time decision. He's expected to sit. Jordan Clarkson's out. And then Keontae George is out as well, which should mean a lot of minutes for Colin Sexton. Looking at Portland now, you got Ayton and Brogdon, both game time decisions. Then you got Grant listed as out. Simons is going to continue to be kind of the number 1 there. It'd actually be interesting to see if Sharp continues this good play, but we really don't know what to expect from Portland. And then moving on, Draymond Green, we all know he's out. That thankfully, just can't have that stuff continue to happen. And then looking at the Clippers, Paul George, game time decision. Obviously, if he sits, that's going to give a boost to Kawhi, James Harden, and probably even a little bit of Russell Westbrook. All right, so now just getting into the board that we have for today. Just highlighting the best prop bets that we have. Right now, we got Tatum for 3.5 turnovers. You can see the projection data actually likes that at 3.4. I think it's worth calling out that maybe this is due to the fact that he had 4 turnovers against the Cavs in the last game. I don't know. To me, that's an interesting line. I don't know if I really want to go in on that. But all in all, I think when we look at kind of the game log, we're going to see that is an outlier. He averages only 3.2 turnovers per game. And so I guess I can get behind it. The next one's going to be Keegan Murray for under fantasy score. This one is definitely vaulted up as compared to really where it's been this season. And so looking at his fantasy score, I don't know if it's exactly something I want to touch. Now, he is a lot dependent on his shot. Now, last game, he did get 3 steals, which meant that his over hit pretty easily. And he did get 6 free throws. That's not something that typically does occur. The matchup with OKC is seemingly a favorable matchup. He played 40 minutes in the last game, really dominating there. And so all in all, I'm kind of fine trusting the data, especially when it comes to fantasy score, but I don't know if I like this spot. Like yesterday, I ran out this slip that it was just the top fantasy score props that we had on the day, like right before lock. And I mentioned I didn't like the Malik Beasley one. I just kind of ended up rolling with it. That ended up being the one that missed out on. So kind of annoying there. Very close though. So all in all, guys, that's really why more times than not, I'm kind of okay trusting the data. That is one though that I don't know. It's a little bit shot dependent. I don't exactly love it, but we can see the average sportsbook line would have set at 27.5. We look at his game log. He's only gotten the over twice recently. I do think there's something to that, but at the same time with the Kings, they kind of go deep. It could be him going off, or it could be someone else going off like Kevin Huerter or whatnot. Moving on into the next one, we got Nikola Jokic for over rebounds and assists, and that's just crazy. 23. The average sportsbook line would heavily be favoring the over at 22.7 on average, and so I guess it kind of makes sense why the data would like this one. To me, I value this one as one that's being valued as a push pretty much. I do want to call this one for Jared Allen as well. So last game, he did have a good game against the Celtics. This is going to be the exact same situation as well. And so as long as he's going to be on the court for that much minutes, and I phrase it that way because, you know, you do worry about foul trouble a little bit lately, 4, 6, 2, 5, like he has been getting into some foul trouble, which to me has been the reason why his limits have been a little bit limited as well lately. Obviously at the start of the season, or kind of when he returned from injury, they were literally limiting his minutes. All in all, though, he did have a pretty good day shooting, 6 for 9. Can we bank on that every day? Probably not. He had a very high assist amount to last game, but lower rebounds. So on all that should all balance itself out. But I do want to call it that is a much better bet there, an underdog, where the line is currently at 23. That is one that I want to make on underdog as opposed to prize picks. Here's another one that's kind of being valued as a push. We got Sabonis for over assists at 6.9 on average. That is pretty much telling me that there is one sportsbook that has given the line at 6.5 instead. All in all, it's a good prop bet that we got there. Continuing on, you got Drew Holiday fantasy score. You got Jared Allen rebounds and assists. I do want to take a peek at Drew Holiday fantasy score. So Drew Holiday fantasy score, we kind of know that this is going to be predicated on him getting a couple of like steals and really not having that many turnovers. And so that's literally what we saw last game. Basically not getting that many points, which is a concern. We need to get a little bit more of assists out of him. Only 2. He averages 5 on the season. Probably a little bit more rebounds we'd expect as well, but he really made up for it with a lot of blocks and a lot of steals. You know, Drew Holiday is a great defender. Like, I don't think that's too crazy to imagine that happening again at the same time. I don't want to be banking on that on a night in and night out basis. Again, though, he is someone that we can kind of rely on. Look at this box score here. You know, very close to getting the over in basically every game we're getting the over. So all in all, I feel like it's a good line, but all in all, I think more times than not, the over is going to hit here. From there, I do want to mention Michael Porter Jr. and then Kobe White. And then I'm probably about done here in terms of the good prop bets that we are currently getting on prize picks. So White has been fascinating, guys. White has just been dominating lately, getting heavy minutes for the most part. Now, last game, and I was kind of worried about this. It's like they just played an OT game. Are they really going to give their players that many minutes? He still played 34 minutes on the back end of a back-to-back after logging several games of heavy minutes. Still played 34 minutes. I kind of think the expectation is going to be that he's going to still get heavy minutes, probably 37 minutes in this game with Zach LaVine still out. And we can see shooting the basketball, not too much, but shooting the basketball extremely efficient. And maybe that's a cause for concern, is that he has been shooting the basketball well. At some point that it's going to have to come down. But as long as he continues to shoot the basketball well in like 15 plus times while still getting to the free throw line, like that is awesome. And this is one of those situations where I know the matchup isn't the best against Miami, but I'm kind of fine riding the hot hand here. This to me is kind of one of my favorite bets, but also is one of my favorite bets because he has been helping me in like NBA DFS a decent amount. Like Kobe White helped me take down a GPP the other night, 2 nights ago, which was pretty awesome. He was like the only low-ish owned player that I had in my lineup, so it was pretty clutch, his performance. Looking at MPJ, he is someone that's very difficult to trust, and so I don't know if I would actually agree with the over here. At the same time, it is such a low number for him. All it takes is him not having a terrible night shooting, really, and him actually getting those minutes. Most of the time, I do think he's going to give us around 30 minutes. That's what he typically averages on the season. His minutes were bumped for quite a while with Jamal Murray gone and with Aaron Gordon being out and whatnot. But my kind of expectation is that, yeah, we're going to get, I mean, he literally hit his average here, you know, around his average, I should say. And he got close to the over there. We just need one more assist, one more bucket there. So all in all, I'm kind of fine with that. But all in all, it does feel like we'd probably be forcing it a little bit. And so now looking at college basketball, just real quick, we have one pretty good EV bet, under 10.5 points for Will Richard. And then from there, we do have Tyler Wall for under his points at 10.5. Not exactly something I'm going out of my way to make. Do want to call out this one as well. We're getting about a 1 point difference for AJ Storr. You know, that can add up. I mean, that's a big difference. And for what it's worth, guys, like this line that we're getting on Will Richard, you could easily bet the over on something like underdog. Now, the projection data is suggesting, 9 points for him. So that's where I'm kind of fine with just defaulting to the under on prize picks. But all in all, maybe a slight edge there. And then just taking a peek at the EV only bets that we are getting right now for underdog. You got Daniel Carson and Matt Prater for over field goals. By all means, I'm going to go ahead and enter those. Those are 2 very good EV bets. Those are the only ones that we're getting as it sits right now. And then looking at prize picks, guys. Yeah, right now I'm probably going to have to do some sort of data filter to get these Goblins and Demons out and probably create a separate tab, which I'd be fine to do, but that kind of throws off my schedule for today. Not exactly fun. Obviously, if we just scroll down to the ones that have about a 54% chance to hit, that's going to give us a better indication of which ones we want to be rolling with. One thing I randomly just did is there's a metric slider, like right here, guys. If you guys are 9 to 5 members, this is how you use that. Pull that, and you can literally change the percentages here, and that'll also kind of give us a better sample without those discounted squares in there. We are seeing Easton Stick to score a passing touchdown is seemingly a good one. I don't mind that. I actually think that's going to be a good one. And it's a slight one that we are getting, but all in all, not terrible in terms of the Goblin. Now, guys, real quickly, get into the bet of the day for today. I don't know. So I'm going to try this. I don't know if it's exactly the way that we should be going with it, but I did this as a flex slip bet because the payout didn't change at all. And like, it really shouldn't. This is only about a 57% chance to hit, but I'm going to roll with it tonight. We'll see if it works out. You know, definitely a discounted square there. And I like the fact that the payout didn't shift flex wise. Now, when I tried to do the full slip, it was about a 2-unit discount. So I don't know if I exactly want to roll with that. If you didn't want to use this one, by all means, I get it. Right now, I really like the Colby White one and then also the Drew Holiday one. I didn't toss in the Tatum under turnovers because I don't think that one's going to be there by the time most of you guys get there. I think these ones are going to be all still be there. And that's kind of why I'm doing this. Like, I kind of mentioned that a lot. One of the toughest parts for me giving you guys picks is that I try to give you guys picks that are going to be there when a majority of the people get to the video. It's definitely the biggest struggle. And I think that's doing this here. So that's gonna be all. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good slate today. Good luck today. Make sure to give a like and subscribe to the channel. If you guys want access to the 95 Sports Prize Picks and Underdog cheat sheet, head on over to 95sports.com. It's available for $10 a month. Thanks for watching. Let's have a good slate. And as always, let's keep cashing.